Today, I'm going to talk about what I think is the most important thing with a managed grazing system, or a system where you confine animals to a small area and then move them daily or every 3 days or every week or whatever. What happens is, first, there's one thing that Mother Nature provides animals that we take it away with a lot of our ranching practices, whether it be in a feedlot pen or a grazing cell or whatever, is exercise. And when you see buffalo or cattle out on the range or whatever, they move quite a bit. And when we take that movement out of animals, especially younger animals, now when you get cattle towards finish or you want to put a lot of weight on them, you don't want much exercise, but at that point, you're not worried about their overall long-term health. You're just keeping them healthy where they really grow good for the finish. But what I see with a lot of grazing cells like this one, whether you have them in 1 or 3 days, they don't walk, they don't move, they don't have any exercise. And then you start seeing health problems, especially lung problems. And then the next thing is when you have an animal in this paddock that's already grazed and you take this fence down and they get in a pattern of every day moving or every 3 days or every 2 hours, whatever it is, they graze for so long and then they think it's time to move, but they start anticipating it. So if you have a 3-day graze, a lot of times the third day they don't even really graze. They just look over the fence wanting to come to the new paddock, especially if it's really nice feed. So what I try to do is never get the cattle anticipating a move. So I want to have an organized grazing system where I get the most efficiency and the most gain from my forage base. So here's what I do, and this is going to be a little bit of a longer video, but we'll talk about some moving things in between. But I never move one from this paddock to this paddock and put them right in there. I never do that. And the reason being, well, I might if I had to, but the reason being is they're the animal's behavior. And I've told this to so many people and nobody wants to hear it, because it's so easy just to drop the fence and get these animals moved to the next paddock and you can just go on about your other business. But if we're really in the business of trying to get the most gain and the best quality of life from our livestock, then I think this is really, really important. Now they came in here yesterday, probably at noon, and they could stay longer, but this is kind of old, dead, dry grass. And the other thing that's going to happen here is we're going to move these guys quite a ways. We're going to take them from this paddock, we're going to walk them clear down there by those buildings, and then we're going to come back and we're going to end up right here next to it. And they're going to graze this paddock today. And then tomorrow they're going to go all the way down to those buildings and come back to this paddock that's out here. So what we'll do, first thing they do is they learn how to move. And if you have a grass-fed beef program or you're getting cattle that you want to perform in a feedlot or whatever, if animals understand how to move and be moved, check my water, it looks good, how to move and be moved. Now I got to come over this way to keep them from going over my electric fence there. And so then I'll just ask them to step forward there. Good. So now I'll take them nice and slow out of here. And so what I want to do, got my leader, the red steer's my leader, he's the lead, and I'll just keep sending these cattle with them. And now I'm gonna kind of, I want them to, so like if you have a bunch of young cattle that you want to make sure they get out, so I'll ask them to walk pretty fast here. So we'll actually even ask them to maybe trot a little bit. So I can go back and forth here a little bit, and that'll just take them up to a trot. See, so then I can take whatever speed I want. Now, if I want them to slow down a little bit and walk slow, I can just come up their side here just this much, and you see, and I can stop them right here. If I just go right here, and they're gonna watch this leader, the red steer will turn and look at me. We'll just stop back there. Silver, you come here. And I'll just stop these guys right here. We want to stop back there. Silver, come here. Good, I'll stop them here. So I can stop them and let them eat a little bit here. Now if I want them to go again, I'll just ride down along their side, create movement, step in and just go. Now these cattle move a lot and I handle them a lot, so they know how to move. So here I'll drive, I'll come right across so I don't get in behind them there. Now I'll just let them trot. Now if they're finishing cattle, I wouldn't want them to trot off, or if they're a bunch of young calves and I got 500 of them here, I'd want to be way farther to the front so they didn't run off and leave me and have a little mini stampede. So, but these cattle are so gentle and good that it doesn't take much. You can see how little it takes to get them to stop. So that's moving them. And now what happens is, and this bull, he's been a little bit lame, you see, and so when you move cattle this far, it's going to be about a quarter of a mile move, I guess. It'll be when we finish it. But any cattle that don't feel well, have foot issues, or something isn't right, they're going to end up the back, slow down, and their symptoms will start showing up. So I can't see any negatives about this except time. It takes a lot longer to move cattle this way than just taking the fence down, jumping in your side by side and letting them go, and then putting the fence up, and in 5 minutes you got the move made. And if that's all you're interested in, that's fine. But if you have a lot of animals, and maybe if you only have 10 head like this, that'd be just fine. But the other part of that story is if I have a horse to ride or a dog to work, well, I've just created a job for my horse that I can get paid for if I'm riding my horse for a horse for somebody else by the month, or if I'm trying to create horses on the ranch to sell. Then I have just spent some very valuable time putting a ride on a horse with a job that really is helpful to be done. And now so here's what I always wanted this, and I had it for a while when I was younger. I thought, so most people that have a small place have to have a job in town, and then they love their farm and ranch, and so I got to come up here and turn old Red up in here. I was a little bit late. So everybody has a job in town, and then they come home and they do their work in the evenings or the mornings before they go to work, and that's how they can make their ranching deal. You can go ahead and bring them, Pam. That's how they can make their ranching deal work, or their farming deal, or whatever. So what I say, either if you have a horse business where you buy and sell horses or raise colts, or if I ride horses for the public, this can be my job in town. So if I have 4 or 5 horses I ride a day, well, if I move these guys, that's one job. That's one ride I got on old Yeller here. Thank you. Good job. And so then now we'll just take them right back on up. And they learn to drive here through, like they're learning to drive through this paddock, this fresh grass, this fresh feed. And so they learn how to drive under pressure. And anyway, back to the job in town. So I've created with my horse, or if like Silver, if I was training Silver. Now I'm gonna go on ahead and I'll let Silver bring these guys to me. Stay back, Silver. Bring them on. So I'll let Silver bring them. Get back, Silver. Silver, get back. Yeah, there you go. And she slow down, easy. Now Silver can bring these cattle to me, so I can create a nice dog by this work, and she can just bring them to me, and it dog breaks my cattle, where they understand how to work with a dog under pressure. So that's all real nice there. And I'll just let her. So you could train dogs, you could work your horse, and if you don't want to do either one of those things, do this on foot, and you don't have to go to the gym that day. You just did your exercise. So I see all kinds of benefits to this, except the use of time. And now The other thing that I think is important to understand with this is when you ride over this or walk over it, you see your forage base. And as you can see, this is a lot of old feed in here, and it's pretty dry grass. But there's some, but if you look from the outside of the road across this, all you're going to see is, you don't know what's out here, and you won't know for sure how wide the plant spacing is. The thing that's really wonderful about this pasture is this grass is tight. And so if I can, and see now Silver, she's just learned that she's just taking these cattle along for me on the side. I can work on the back, I can work out here at the side. So I can really check out my forage and see how it is. Where you look at things from the outside across it, you'll never get the true picture. So I get to look at my cattle, see how healthy they are. I get to ride a nice horse, and I get to check out my pasture. You can bring them, Silver, and I'll just let Silver bring them right to this. Now we got to go to this side over here, and I'll just let Silver bring them to me. Now I could do this by myself too, just drive them up here. If I didn't have a dog, I could just drive them up here, set them at the gate, and put them in. And this is good for my horse. He gets used to these cattle coming up behind her. Him. All right, now my cattle, Silver, bring them over here to me. And now, right there, Silver, that's good. So I'll just let Silver, now these guys will learn to stop and wait for me. And this is what I'd call getting cattle where you can set them up to place them. Now Silver, watch them and let them not run off. And now, see, now this right here tells them not to push over me to go into a gate. Okay. All right, Silver. So I'll let Silver and Pam bring them along. Silver, you can bring them. There. Good dog. Very good. And now they can just go ahead and explore this little pasture and do their thing. So all I have left to do now is put my water, change my water out, and pastures move. So I really think there's a lot of benefits in doing a little move. Doesn't have to be that far. This is quite a long one. Now the farther I go down, the less move I'm going to be making. So I might have to take them for a little trip up another lane or something, just to get them where their mind isn't thinking about going from one paddock to the next. So that's I think that is the most important thing I can offer you for grazing. And really think about it. And it takes a little time and effort, but it pays off.